Okay, the felony murder rule. Felony murder, our base definition is that it is a murder occurring in the attempt, commission, or flight from an inherently dangerous felony. And these are, of course, the BARC felonies: burglary, arson, rape, robbery, and kidnapping. Okay, the defendant has to have the criminal intent for what? The underlying felony. If the felony is inherently dangerous, death is always foreseeable. And what's going to always satisfy foreseeability? That's right, a deadly weapon. And of course, accomplice liability applies. So one way to look at felony murder is the defendant's felonious conduct has created a foreseeable danger to human life, circumstances that would endanger a human being. Felony murder occurs in the attempt, commission, or flight from an inherently dangerous felony. The defendant's felonious conduct has created a foreseeable danger to human life, and the felony must be independent of the homicide. Okay, two exceptions, and then we're going to look at this question. The killing of your co-felon is not felony murder. I repeat, you kill your co-felon, not felony murder. The defendant reaches a place of temporary safety, they're not liable for subsequent deaths. If the defendant reaches a place of what? Temporary safety, they're not liable for subsequent deaths. That looks like it's ripe for testing there. Defendant reaches a place of temporary safety, hey, they're not liable for subsequent deaths. Okay, the felony is inherently dangerous, and it is independent of the homicide. What does that mean? Let's look at a question. Okay, here we have this question. A property owner decides to burn down an abandoned apartment building to collect insurance proceeds. So what does he do? He hires an arsonist. Now, the property owner and the arsonist, obviously, he's an accomplice, right? Okay, it doesn't matter that they're giving you some distractor facts. The building hasn't housed a tenant in 2 years, and the arsonist broke into the building to set the fire. He searched the building to make sure no one was inside, but he didn't discover a homeless person sleeping in a basement laundry room. So the arsonist, what does he do? He starts the fire and destroys the building. What happens to the homeless person? They die. Okay, so now we're trying to find the property owner guilty of felony murder. Okay, remember, here are our answers. Because the homeless person's death occurred in the connection with the felony of arson. Boy, it seems too obvious, doesn't it? It can't be fraud. That's not an inherently dangerous felony. Conspiracy, not an inherently dangerous felony. But they did give us this distractor of burglary. What happened here? He broke into the building, breaking and entering the dwelling house of another at nighttime with intent to commit a felony therein. Arson, malicious burning of the dwelling house of another. And of course, dwelling house doesn't necessarily need to be a house. When we say the killing must be independent of the felony, here are the facts that show you that. He searched the building to make sure no one was inside. He didn't discover a homeless person sleeping in there. Okay, so he started the fire, and the homeless person died as a result of the defendant's felonious conduct, because setting fire to a building created a foreseeable danger to human life. And of course, the property owner is liable. So arson looks too easy, right? But it is arson. It can't be burglary, because the burglary didn't cause the killing. The burglary, that was not the felonious conduct that created a foreseeable danger to human life. It was the arson that created the foreseeable danger to human life. And remember, what does the arsonist have the intent to do? Does he have the intent to break and enter to commit a felony? Yeah, arguably, but the inherently dangerous felony here that placed someone in danger of death was arson. That's how they're testing it on the MBE.